Hey guys, how's it going? So welcome back. Today actually we're gonna be looking at the Facebook problem. It's a hard problem whereby we are told that we need to find the popularity percentage of each user on the Facebook platform. So the popularity percentage is defined as the total number of friends the user has divided by the total number of users on the platform. So we need to convert this into percentages by actually multiplying it by 100. So the rest of them is just that mean. So we're gonna look at those at the end. So I feel like this problem is straightforward. You just take the number of, you can think of it as the number of followers or friends, whatever it is. Then you kind of like divide it by the total number of the platforms, and then you multiply by 100, right? It's easy to understand, but the reason it's so hard is because if we take a glance of the data, right, we have two columns. That's what makes it hard, I think. That's why they said it's a hard question. It is user one and user two. So I'm just gonna write my assumption. So problem understanding, right? Please don't mind my spelling there. Just write, just to kind of like analyze the problem so that you understand where I think what makes this problem to be more difficult. So we know that we need to find users popularity on the platform, right? So these are my assumptions. So the total number of users refers to all the user IDs found on user one and user two. What I'm saying is that for you to say these are the total number of users on the platform, for example, we have 9, but 9 is not on this column. So which means that you can't just like group by one column thinking that that is going to give you the length of the number of users. It's not going to work like that because 9 is not found on this. Similarly, 8 is not found on user 2, right? So you need to find a way in which you can actually get the distinct number of users from these two columns, like, and that's gonna be your total users. Okay, so that's my first assumption, which is the total the total users refers to all the users ID found on user 1 and user 2 column, right? So my second assumption, which is total number of friends. So here I'm gonna assume that this refers to all the users connection, and this is, think of it from a bidirectional. By bidirectional I mean, one, let's take example at one. One is friend with this guy. One is friend with 5. One is friend with 6. And you also have to look at it from a bidirectional. So you go to column 2, you say, okay, also 1 is connected with 2. 1 is connected with 4, right? So what does that mean? It means that 1 has 5 connections. So you don't look at it from one column. You have to look at it from 2 columns. So that is my second assumption. So let's write it down. So I'm gonna say total number of friends refers to all the users connection, right? And this has to be bidirectional. So bidirectional. So by bidirectional, in case you're confused, what I'm saying is that we can think of it as user A is connected to user B, right? Then, or user C is connected to user A. What does this mean? When you see something like this, what does this mean? It means that user A has 2 connections. User A is connected to user B, user A is also connected to user C. So you're looking at it from 2 columns and you're looking at that. So we're also going to make another assumption, which is under here, which is a user cannot connect to themselves, right? A user cannot befriend themselves. It doesn't make sense, right? Which means that I don't expect to see 1 and 1 in this. So I don't expect to see something like that. Let me zoom in. Actually, I forgot to zoom in. Sorry, guys. Maybe some of you didn't see. Uh, yeah. In case now you can see. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that a user cannot befriend himself. Cool. Now with those, we understand the problem. We clarified certain things. What is the solution? We like to break things into components because that way we get to actually understand we get to solve the problem more efficiently. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna group the user ID first by first column and count. So I'm gonna group because I know that the reason I'm grouping with I want a distinct number of users from column A. I want distinct number of users from column B. This is going to allow me to get the total number of users. So I'm going to group them user ID in first column, right? And count, right? I'm just going to copy the same same statement. I just need to copy this. No, so we're just going to say group the user ID in first and second column and count, right? Then when we're done, we're just gonna have to check if we're just gonna get the total. So to get the total, we check if the user one, right, user one is not in user two column. So this is actually going to allow us to then this is going to allow us to get the total because we can just get the distinct. But you can see that here we're using in. I don't know how sensitive the interviewers are, but they can actually say some of the code that you're writing is not efficient. For example, writing sentences in, if you have like 2 million, not 2 million, but maybe, okay, actually it's Facebook. Yeah, I see it can be 2 million users. So that means you're going to search for every user with an in operation. So maybe we can try something like full join, right? So full join is just going to make sure that it joins and it's going to give us all the users that are not found in the other column. So it's fine. So you can use a join to make things easier. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how hard they can go with you and then some of the interviewers might really be quite curious about how you write the SQL, and they might want you to actually write an efficient script. So anyway, what I said we're gonna do is that I'm just gonna say select user one, right? We're doing the first step, right? We said we're gonna select user one and we're gonna count user one because we just want to have a count of how many users are there. So we're gonna say count user one. This is gonna be, I'm just gonna capitalize this. Then it's gonna be coming from the table from Facebook friends. Oops. Then I'm just gonna group by because I want all the unique users. So I'm gonna group by the first column, which is one. So this should definitely give me what I'm looking for. Okay, cool. Just gonna run this. Cool. So I have all the count. Now I know that, okay, user one has 3 connection, user two has 2 connection, but this is not the final because of just from one column perspective. So what we need to do is that we need to say with CTE1, just to save this, with CTC1 as this. And what we need to do, we need to go to the second step. So we're going to do the same thing now, but we're going to call this, actually let me call this a user one. I think it will be good for you guys to understand. And I'm just going to call this user two, and I'm going to say so we're doing the same thing, but just now we're doing it for user two. So we're going to select user two and we're going to count user two. So this is also going to give us the unique users. So we're going to say count 2, and what do we need to do from here is that we just need to get that from the Facebook friends. Then we just need to group by one. So looking sweet, right? So we have select user two, count user two as count 2, then we say from Facebook friends we're grouping by 1, because of there's only one column here, so it's fine. So yeah, I think we're just gonna get the same result. It's just that for user 2. So which means that now, because we have this 2 tables, what I can do is that I can do a full join on this. So you can think of it as, actually let me show you. I think you can actually understand if I write this so that I don't confuse you. So if we have user 2 like this, so you see this table, it's user 1 and count. So now I'm going to show you user 2 and count. So what happened is, now you can see that this 9 is not in the first table, user 1. So we need to join this in such a way that I don't lose this user 9. I don't use these users that are not appearing in the first table as I showed you. So how can we do that? We can use a full join. Left join essentially is going to prioritize one table on the left, then it's going to lose all the rows from the right table. Similarly with the right join, an inner join is going to lose all them columns that do not match. So hence I'm going to use a full join. So we're going to say, actually I'm using MySQL, right? So I don't know guys, actually you can just leave a comment, but I don't think there's a full join with MySQL. So we're going to use a select, left join and right join. So that's just the technique we just to imitate a full join. So I used to use like change programming languages and SQL. So sometimes I even forget which function, but anyway, it's okay. So we're gonna imitate full join. To imitate a full join, you're just gonna say select from user 1, we left join with user 2, then we select from user 1, we right join with user 2. So it's just the same thing with full join. So I'm gonna say you are 1, then we're gonna say left join user 2. I'm gonna call you are user 2, then I'm just gonna say you are 2, then I'm just gonna say on you are 1 dot user 1 equals to you are I name it so bad, but it's fine guys. As long as you guys understand, then I'll be happy. So we're gonna be union because we just want to get a full join. So this is just gonna get us all the left side of things. This is just gonna get us the right side of things. So same thing with full join, it will do. So just to make sure that I don't have a bug, I think I made a bug here. Right join user 2 you are 2 on that, then I think we're fine guys. Hey, just gonna make sure for the final time. So we say select all user 1 you are 1, then we say right join user 2 you are 2 on you are 1 and you are 2. Okay, looks good. So which means that I can just select from this full join table. So this is gonna give me all the data combined now. So we're gonna do some tricks to get to. So you see what I'm getting. I'm getting all the total number. So you can think of this now as a total number of all the users. So even the users that don't did not have connection with the user 1 or something like that, they still gonna appear or something like that. So these users were not found in this user 1 table, so that's why here it's empty. But now this, you can think of this as total number of users, because you can see we have 5, we have 6, we have 9, 3, 8, all of them are here, so which is good for us. So that's why we had to do the full join, right? So now that we have the full join, we just need to say, okay, where user 2 is null or the count is null, we just need to take the count and add them together. Because for example here we know that, because this is going to give us the total, right? So we have user 1, we have user 1, they have connection of 2, so they have 5 connections. So we just need to connect those 2, okay, and it's going to give us 5. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm just going to say case, right? Case, then we say when user 1 is null, we're gonna make it user 2. So I'm gonna have two statements, and let me explain this. So what I'm saying there is that when it's null, we're gonna make user 5. So we want to create a list of all the users, all the unique users. That's what we're doing here. So we just taking this 5 and we bring it here. We just taking this 6, we bring it here. So all the users will be into one thing, and that's the point. So we're saying when user 1 is null, then user 2. Then we're gonna do the same. When user 2 is null, then user 1, right? Yes. So so sometimes user 1, user 2 is there, it's not null, so we're just gonna pick any one. We're gonna pick user 1 or user 2 because they are the same. We have 2, we have 2, we have 1, we have 1, so we can pick anyone, it's fine. So I'm just gonna say else user 1. But here, like I said, you can think of this in simple terms. What I'm doing is that I'm saying let's create a full list of all the users. So hope you kind of like get that. I didn't confuse you. Then now I just want to create a count of this user. So I'm just going to say case is this literally the same thing. So we just need to say case when count from the data set count 1 is null, then I'm just going to say make it count 2. Okay, so we're just going to copy and paste this to save time. Just say that count 2, when count 2 is null, then count 1, right? Else what I'm doing is that I'm just going to take count 1 plus count 2. So just to explain to you again, what I'm saying here is that if for user 1, we can see that this user 2 here, 5, does not have any count on the user 1 table. So we're just going to take this one. That's their only count that they have. So similarly with 6, similarly with 9, similarly with 7, they only have one count. That's what we're doing when count is null, then that's the only count. But for some of the users, they have count on both tables. So what we're doing is that we're going to say else, if this is null, we're just going to take count 1 and count 2, then we add them, we get the total. Okay. Hope that kind of like give you a more perspective. So which means that on the else statement here, literally we're gonna say else count 1 plus count 2. So this should do the trick. So we're just gonna say end as final count. So I'm just calling this final count and end count so that maybe it will make sense to use. Then we're just gonna say full join table. Then I think we're done, right? Because okay, actually the full join table was written, so we just need to close it out. Then let's see, hope I don't have bugs. I'm just gonna close this. Okay, select. Okay, we're gonna say with what is this? It's gonna be user count because this is the final count. Then we're gonna say as that. Actually, it's supposed to be user count. So I'm just gonna select from user count. Select all from user count. Okay, guys, look at that. So this is what we have. So you can see user 2 is final count 3, user 1 5. So this is what I was looking for. And we have all the users. You see, we have 9, 6, 5, 3, 7. All the users are there, which is good, and they have all their count. By count, in case I'm confusing, I'm sorry for confusing you, but by count I mean these are like the as we are told there, the total number of friends the user has. So don't forget, this is by count, total number of friends. Maybe I should have named it that. We just done, so we just need to do the final formula that we're told. The final formula we were told is that the total popularity percentage is defined as the total number of friends divided by the total number of users on the platform. So now this will be easy to calculate since we're done with those assumptions that we needed to make. So which means that I'm just gonna select the final user, and what I do is that I'm just gonna take the final count because this is gonna get divided. So the final count, we're told that obviously total number of percentage divided by the total number of friends. So total count is total number of friends, then I have to divide it by the total number of users on the platform. So how can I get that? I can get that with the select statement and say select all, which is actually select count all, and this is just gonna count all of the users in there. It's gonna give me a value, so scalar value, so it's gonna be cool. So with that, we are also told that we need to actually multiply this by 100. So we're gonna do that. So you can think of this as for each user. For example, we get in 3. What's the total? What's the total user? It's gonna be the number of users, the number of total rows. Then we're gonna get for each user here. For 3, we're gonna divide by the total number, then we multiply by 100. So we're gonna say as pack popular, I think. Yeah, it's gonna work fine. Then we're gonna say from user count, we're gonna group by final user, because they said for each user. So group by final user, then we should be fine. And this is what we have. But we are also told that actually, why am I grouping by user? Because we have unique users. I think I made a mistake there. Let me remove this. Sorry about that. So okay, now let's go to those admin. You still remember those admin that we didn't read? They say that output each user along with their popularity percentage. Yes, we did that. Order record in ascending order. So let's order this. So we're just gonna do this admins and stuff like that, right? So we're gonna order by final user. Then we're told that the user one pair. Okay, cool. Then we're done. It's order, check solution. It worked. So this is how I went about it. I know there's some people who are good with SQL, so they probably wrote 10 lines of SQL code, and I have something like 50. It's not necessarily 50, maybe 40, something like that. But the point, I did it this way, breaking equation down into simple steps. It makes people who are learning SQL to understand. So writing certain tricks, I thought maybe it might confuse them. So I think breaking it down this way, it might actually help them to kind of grasp the concept much easier. And yeah, but yeah, probably there's someone who did it better than this. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.